Hello, everybody, and welcome into our first news and rumors video for the Detroit Red Wings here on the site. I'm your host, Matthew Zator. As always, got Jordan Orth here, who covers the Red Wings. We've seen him on the season preview videos. We're going to be discussing the opening night roster on this one, which, Red Wings are playing tonight as you're watching this. And, seems like they've got a pretty young lineup. Jordan, how's it going?
Good. Yeah, it definitely seems like they Eiserman and Todd McClellan decided to get a little youth infusion going this year finally.
Yeah, so for sure. On both ends too, not just the forward group, right? So
yeah, it should be exciting to see how they pan out. Hopefully it keeps on an upward trend with other guys down in whether Grand Rapids or maybe a couple of years away for a couple of them like Trey Augustine or you never know. There were surprises this year, so there might be more coming.
All right. Well, let's dive into that and talk about. We'll start with the forward group, which, looking at this is the lineup that is our last practice this morning. Not this morning. I guess it'd be yesterday. Looking at this lineup here right now. I put the two guys, the extra forwards, Van Riemsdyk and Berggren. It's looking like this is probably how they're going to start the game. What do you think about this lineup going into game one?
The second line is what I'm really looking at. You look at a full season of Kasper playing at the center position with two guys who you look at DeBrincat, he can light the lamp any night. And then you got Kane, who just continues to defy the odds of the hip surgery and age. He hasn't got caught up with it yet. So hopefully, a full season with Kasper, the way he plays, those two will feed off of him. And then obviously the surprise one is Emmitt Finnie making the lineup. But you look at how he played with Larkin and Raymond in the couple preseason games they played together, and just in general, he was playing up and down the lineup a couple times. I wouldn't say it was a huge surprise for me because I've followed him since he got drafted and kind of seen how he played at Kamloops in WHL and stuff. And he brings some energy in a different kind of playing style that can definitely help the top six of that lineup.
For sure. I'm looking at like Brandsegg-Nygård, a recent first round pick, not that long ago, and he's made the team. And you've got, Marco Kasper, Finnie. Those are all young guys in the lineup. Are you surprised that, it's not like Van Riemsdyk's never going to get into the lineup, but it's looking like he might not play game one. And then we talked about Berggren as well in the season preview. He looks like he's not going to be starting as well. Is that surprising, or is it just because the young guys have kind of just outplayed everyone?
I think it's kind of the young guys pushing their way into the lineup, and I think Van Riemsdyk's more of the fact that he was dealing with some personal matters outside of the team for camp and really wasn't around the team a whole lot. So maybe they'll phase him in a little bit. It really depends on how guys like Soderblom or Rasmussen perform the first few games. I would imagine how long he'll be out of the lineup. Berggren, he wasn't someone that stood out in the preseason to me. It's almost like a year he needs to prove himself because he's showing flashes. He's been okay at certain points, and then other times he's kind of gone invisible. And again, back to the whole younger guys and pushing for the spots. It's gonna continue happening. He's gonna have to take every advantage he can, whether it's in practice or if he does crack the lineup, he's gonna have to step it up. So I'm not necessarily surprised that he's not in the lineup just based on what they had on the roster too at this point. So yeah, the two extras right now aren't massive surprises, and I'm sure McClellan will probably cycle them in at the beginning of the year to see what they've got and see what their final four lines will actually end up being long term.
Mm-hmm. It is an interesting lineup to start, which, like you said, the youth movement is kind of really big right now, and you're seeing so many first-round picks in the lineup too, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes. And Soderblom, he showed those flashes, I think it was a couple seasons ago, where he looked really good, and then he got injured and was sent right to Grand Rapids, and since then hasn't really been able to get a foothold in the NHL again. So it's good to see that he's made this opening night lineup. because he's playing alongside the guy he had a lot of success with that season as well. I don't know what that line was called. It was the two trees. They're like really big. Really
yeah,
big guys.
the Twin Towers basically is what
Towers,
you kind of.
So they're two big guys, and then Appleton's really good. That fourth line could be actually very interesting to watch. To see how they kind of play, right? All right, well, moving to the defense, which, again, more youth. You got Axel Sandin-Pellikka. We didn't really talk about him in the season preview because we're like, is he going to actually make the lineup? He is. He's on the second pairing to start. Are you surprised by that, that he made the lineup in such a higher spot?
Yes and no. Yes, because of the fact that he did have a little bit of that North American adjustment last year with Grand Rapids at the end of the year. But no, because as the preseason progressed, he seemed like he continued to, I don't want to say shine, but he stood out. He was making the smart plays. He was looking good at both ends of the ice for the most part. And I mean, Yzerman has made it very well known that if there's a guy that's going to earns a spot, he's not going to hold him back, and you're not just going to get a spot handed to you. So he's earned his way onto the roster, and I'm not necessarily surprised that seeing him and Edvinsson on a pairing together might be pretty exciting to watch if that's what they stick with.
Yeah, I mean, we all know how offensively driven Sandin-Pellikka is. He's one probably – I never want to say on par with guys like Makar and Hughes, but he's similar type of defenseman. Very good offensively, a great skater. He's going to be putting up probably, I would say in his prime, he's probably going to hit 70 points. So, and being with Edvinsson, that's a pretty good young pairing that might actually be a top pairing at some point in the future, right? I mean, Moritz Seider will probably always be the top pairing guy, but I mean, they're much younger than him too. So we'll see how it all plays out. For the veteran guys, I mean, Travis Hamonic is looking like he's going to be starting. You got some other guys, Bernard Docker. We talked about him in the preview. Are you surprised Hamonic is getting into the lineup over a guy like Bernard Docker?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I get he's got the veteran presence. It makes sense in an aspect to throw him with a younger player like Johansson. I would imagine it's going to be another one of those situations like it was with it. Probably will be with Van Riemsdyk and Berggren, where they'll both probably play a game or two here and there, see who sticks out the most. I'm sure Gustafsson might work his way back up too, but I think that's going to be something that gets worked out as you get through the first 10, maybe 15 games on, okay, these are the 6 guys we're going to roll with the rest of the year. We don't want to mess with the chemistry or the continuity or mojo we got going here, but we want to figure out what we got at the beginning of the year.
For sure. And I mean, Hamonic has shown to be a pretty good. I think he's well suited to be a bottom pairing guy. If he has to be higher in the lineup, you've got a problem.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, being there, I mean, rotating out of the lineup, he's still a serviceable guy. And being matched up with a young guy is good too. So, I mean, they're going to need, I mean, injuries happen, of course. There's going to be, these guys are all going to get in the lineup at some point.
Right.
But it's going to be interesting to see how that top 4 goes, because I'm really excited to see that Edvinsson, Sandin-Pellikka in action when they get going against the Maple, not the Maple Leafs, it would be the Canadians to start. So, I mean, that's actually be a really fun game because it's got a lot of youth on both sides.
Yeah, looks like they're two teams that could rekindle that original 6 rivalry here for the next 5 to 10 years with the youth they both got. So,
yeah, 100%. All right. Well, let's talk now about what happened during training camp. I mean, all the cuts that happened. Were you surprised by any of the guys that went back to Grand Rapids? I mean, we talked about the youth making it, and it's kind of surprising there. But the guys that we were kind of talking about in the season preview, of course, we talked about Van Riemsdyk. Was there anyone else that really was surprising that is in Grand Rapids now?
No, not necessarily. Obviously, everybody figured someone like Costa would end up back in Grand Rapids just because they've got the 2 veterans on the roster again. You look at, I mean, maybe Carter Mazur, he had to call up late last year, ended up getting hurt. He could have pushed for a spot, but I know that McClellan had mentioned that Nate Danielson had pushed before he got hurt, was pushing really hard. So he very well could be a guy who at some point, when he comes back from injury, has a strong start with Grand Rapids. I mean, who knows? Maybe something happens there where maybe they give him a shot at the lineup. If he sticks, and then you're looking at making more moves maybe. But I don't necessarily think there were too many surprising cuts this year. It was kind of more the surprise inclusions on the roster than anything this year for the Wings.
For sure. Yeah, I really like the youth that's been put in. And that's the thing. I mean, Eiserman has said that in the past that guys that perform well in training camp do make the team. And if they're not ready to. So, I mean, I think that's his thing where they bring in veterans because, well, we don't want to rush the guys, the youth. So these guys look ready now. And like you say, Marco Kasper is going to take a big step this year, I think, and he's starting on that second line. It's going to be interesting to see how they all kind of develop this year with all there's a lot less veteran guys in the lineup, and we've complained about that in the past. Stop adding the veterans, just the young guys, just get them in there.
Yeah, at some point you got to see what you got. And at this point, you're going to see what you got in your big two, at least, with Pellikka and Nygard. Yeah. Which us Red Wing fans definitely thank your Canucks for Sandin-Pellikka. We appreciate that trade. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it's working out pretty well right now. Philip Hronek has looked pretty good on that top pairing. So I think both teams kind of won that trade when you're looking back at it now. Although in the future, I think Sandin-Pellikka is definitely going to be a much more offensively, his potential is a lot higher than Hronek. But it is definitely great trade for both sides. It's looking like it, at least. Right now.
Hronek complements his team well in the aspect he needs to be. So worked out well.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's the open-end roster. And make sure checking out everything at Hawkers.com. We've got great stuff going on. Recaps. We got takeaways. It's all going to happen after the game. That's going on against the Montreal Canadiens. So make sure checking all that out when it does drop. But thanks, Jordan, for coming on and talking to Red Wings ahead of the season opener. We'll see how they play in their first game.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Matt.
All right. Well, make sure checking all the other videos on the YouTube channel as well. We got news and rumors. We're going to be keeping doing these quick videos throughout the season. Anything kind of goes on, but make sure check that out when they do come out. But until our next one, we'll see you next time.